Hello, hello. Greetings, everyone. How are you on this lovely Tuesday? Titanic Tuesday, yes. um, Welcome. I'm about a minute early here. So let me see. Let's do some housekeeping before we get started, okay? First of all, hi, I'm the Bay Lady. They call me that because I do a lot of virtual tours around the Chesapeake Bay. That's where I live. I love the area and I like sharing it. So that's that. My name is Sharon Schultz, and welcome to the Tuesday Terror on the Titanic. What I have is a series of letters that tell the story, a mystery, intrigue that happens on the maiden voyage of the Titanic. Now, we all like, we all have an interest in the Titanic story. This set of letters is a subscription type thing. I haven't read them. Okay, so I'm reading them with you for the first time. So we'll learn this new story of the Titanic together. Has anyone thought about the time that I selected for this tour, 11:40? It was 11:40 p.m. when Titanic struck the iceberg. So we're doing 11:40 a.m. at the moment. We'll see if I'm thinking about doing it p.m. We'll see if I can stay awake that long. Anyway, so we started last week. This is the second week, and we're about to read a second letter, but let me review. The first letter that we read was from a lady by the name of Elsie Fairchild. Elsie Fairchild was writing a letter to her sister, and Elsie is staying at the Royal Atlantic Hotel in Southampton, England. She is going to be a passenger on the Titanic. Her letter was written April 9th, 1912. And she is showing, telling about the Titanic and getting ready to go on ship. And she has her friend Nora with her. And she goes on to talk about that. So now we have a second letter here that we are going to read. And this is to Elise. Okay, Elise Fairchild. All right. So this letter, let me take it out of here so I can handle it easier. This letter is written on the Titanic letterhead, RMS Titanic, White Star Line. And it says, on board RMS Titanic, April 10th, 1912. And this person is in cabin B58. And here you can see the letterhead with the info. It's kind of shiny there. Oh, I have it in a page protector. Okay, are we ready? Let us go. My dearest Elise, at last we are aboard. I pray your final night at the Royal Atlantic was a restful one, and that your journey to the ship was without issue. From my cabin window, I just watched the last of the tugboats pull away, their whistles saluting our departure. Now, with a low, steady thrum that one feels more in the bones than in the ears, we are underway. For years, this vessel was a thunderous, chaotic symphony of hammers and cranes. Now she has a single, powerful heartbeat. She is alive, and we are moving. The great adventure has begun. We had a moment of rather unwelcome excitement not an hour ago, As we were maneuvering out of the docks, we passed the liner SS New York. The sheer displacement of our vessel, the immense volume of water she moves, created a powerful suction that snapped the New York's mooring ropes as if they were threads. For a few tense moments, the smaller ship's stern was drawn towards our own, a collision that would have been a terrible and embarrassing omen. The sound of the 6 thick hawsers snapping one after another was like a volley of cannon shots echoing across the water. There was a great cry from the crowds on the shore. I confess, my heart was in my throat. My first thought, a prayer for your safety, imagining the lurch you must have felt. Captain Smith and the pilot were magnificent, of course, their orders sharp and immediate, and the tugboats responded with incredible skill to pull her away. All is well, but it was a stark reminder that a ship of this size is a force of nature in her own right, commanding respect from the very water she sails upon. My love, my heart is so full of you. To think that in just a few days we will be in New York, free to begin the life we have dreamed of. This entire voyage feels like a prelude to our happiness, a grand overture before the main performance. I was just standing by the rail, watching the shores of England recede, and all I could picture was your face the day I asked for your hand in your father's garden. The way your eyes lit up, that beautiful surprised joy. This is the moment I carry with me. All my life has been about structure, about the precise and logical assembly of parts to create a functional whole. But you, my darling, you have shown me that the most important things, joy, love, a home, are built not with steel and rivets, but with warmth, laughter, and shared dreams. Hang on one second, folks. Sorry. Sorry, had to retrieve my dog. This is Rosie. Rosie, say hello to the folks. Rosie is a rescue dog. Mwah. And she's my little sweetheart, my joy. All right, back to our story. Sorry about that. All my life has been about structure, about the precise and logical assembly of parts to create a functional whole. But you, my darling, have shown me that the most important things, joy, love, a home, are built not with steel and rivets, but with warmth, laughter, and shared dreams. I have a vision of our home in my mind, not a grand mansion, but a sturdy brownstone on a quiet street, a house with good bones. I imagine a small workshop for my drafting table in the back, and a library with a great bay window where you can sit and read with the morning sun pouring in. It is a simple, solid future, Elise, but it is one I hope to build with you with all the integrity and care I possess. Do you remember the afternoon I took you to the Engineering Museum in Kensington? I was so nervous, convinced you would be terribly bored. I expected to see your eyes glaze over as I pointed out the steam engines and the architectural models, but you weren't bored at all. You asked questions, sharp, insightful ones about boiler pressure and hydronomics. You saw the beauty not just in the finished product, but in the thought and the ingenuity behind it. It was then I understood that your spirit was not confined to the drawing room and society pages, that you possess a deep and wonderful curiosity about the world and how it works. It is with that brilliant mind, as much as your kind heart and beautiful face, that I fell in love with. I remember the first time I truly understood that love was a certainty. It was at a dinner at your family's home. A politician was holding forth on some tedious bit of legislation, and the conversation was dreadfully dull. I looked across the table and saw you, momentarily lost in your own world, tracing the patterns on the crystal with your fingertip, a small secret smile on your face. It was as if you were in on a joke that no one else could hear. In that instant, I saw not just your beauty, but your wonderful, intelligent, and private spirit. I, a man of calculations and certainties, fell completely in love with the beautiful mystery that is you. It still fills me with a kind of humble awe that you, with all your grace and your background, would choose a man like me, a man whose hands are more familiar with graphite and steel than with the niceties of a drawing room. I passed your cabin earlier on my way below deck and had to physically restrain myself from knocking, imagining you preparing for the day, perhaps arranging your books or laying out your dress for dinner. My own quarters, B58, are a marvel of craftsmanship. The mahogany panels gleam with a deep, rich polish. The brass fittings shine like gold, and there is a handsome writing desk here with stationery so fine I feel my engineering scrawl is an insult to the paper. They have even installed the latest in amenities, an electric fan, a silent heater, and a private wash basin with both hot and cold running water, a true luxury. It is a world away from my Spartan rooms in Belfast, but for all its perfection, it feels sterile and soulless. It is merely a room, and it is you, my darling, who will make our house, our future house, a home. If only I could show you the true heart of this vessel, Elise, not the gilded lounges, but the engine room. It is a cavern of steel, a cathedral dedicated to power. The two great reciprocal engines are the size of houses, their massive pistons driving up and down with a rhythm so powerful it feels primal. And beyond them is the new marvel, the low-pressure turbine, which spins almost silently, wringing every last ounce of power from the steam. It is a hot, loud, overwhelming place, but it is a place of honest work and incredible genius. It is the beating iron heart that gives life to all the luxury above, and I wish I could share its awesome beauty with you. I remember my own father, a shipwright his whole life in Belfast, speaking with such reverence of the vessels he helped to build. He would come home with hands calloused and worn, smelling of sawdust and sweat, but his eyes would shine as he described the great scale of the liners taking shape in the gantry. He once showed me a length of oak that had been rejected for a ship's frame. To my eye, it looked perfect, but he pointed out a tiny, almost invisible flaw in the grain, a knot deep within the wood. A ship is an honest thing, son, he told me. You can hide your poor stitching in a coat, but you cannot hide your poor work in a hull. The sea will always find the sea will always find the lie, and she is a merciless judge. He believed that to build a great ship was a noble calling, a covenant with the passengers who placed their lives in your hands. I feel his pride in me today, and I wish he were here to see this culmination of all his teachings and dreams. To have you, the woman I love, sailing on this ship, this vessel I helped create, feels like the perfect union of all the best parts of my life. I saw Nora supervising the placement of your trunks as I boarded. She is a treasure, that girl, fiercely loyal and wonderfully efficient. I confess it puts my mind at ease to know you have her with you. She seems to anticipate your every need. I also had the privilege of a brief word with Captain Edward J. Smith on my way to inspect the turbine engines. He has the calm, steady confidence of a man who is master of his element. And he clapped me on the shoulder and said the ship was a credit to Belfast. He is a true seaman from an era when that meant more than just a title, and it is an honor to sail under his command. I saw your acquaintance, Preston Beaumont, as well, holding court near the grand staircase with a group of fanciers, including a rather severe-looking man I believe is the steel magnate Sir Reginald Croft. They are men of a different sort, men who see the ship not as a vessel to be respected, but as a commodity to be exploited. It is a strange thing to walk these decks and see the faces of so many titans of industry, men whose names are synonymous with power and wealth. I caught a glimpse of Mr. John Jacob Astor, looking quite distinguished as he made his way to the gymnasium. There's a quiet dignity to him, a man clearly accustomed to his station, yet without the overt showmanship of some of his peers. Of course, the man at the very center of that world is Mr. J. Bruce Ismay, chairman of the White Star Line. He is a constant presence on the ship, like a nervous proprietor inspecting his new and most expensive acquisition. He roams the decks, running a hand over a polished railing, peering into the kitchen, his eyes everywhere. Titanic is the crowning achievement of his career, meant to dominate the transatlantic route. One feels that he sees the Titanic not merely as a ship, but as a statement of his own power and a weapon against his rivals at Cunard. This is a relentless, driving ambition in him. He speaks to the captain not with the deference one ought to show a commander, but with the familiarity of an employer. And one gets the distinct impression that he is a man who is accustomed to his suggestions being treated as orders. Later, I was walking past the Veranda Cafe and saw John Jacob Astor IV with his young wife, Madeline. She is a beautiful woman, quite striking, and there was an undeniable tenderness in their interaction. It's hard not to notice them, given their prominence, but they carry themselves with a certain grace amongst all the hubbub. I also saw the rather formidable figure of Mrs. Ida Strauss walking arm in arm with her husband, Isidore, the co-owner of Macy's department store. There is a palpable sense of devotion between them, a quiet strength that emanates from their long marriage. They move through the grandeur of the ship as if they carry their own more profound grandeur within them. One can tell at a glance that theirs is a love that has weathered many storms, far more significant than anything these opulent surroundings can offer. These are the kinds of people who truly represent the enduring spirit of our nation, builders and innovators, and it's humbling to share this crossing with them. Speaking of which, the work is all consuming but exhilarating. As part of the guarantee group from the Titanic shipbuilder Harland and Wolff, we are the ship's guardians, you see. We are the 9 men, led by Thomas Andrews himself, who know her most intimately. We were there for her conception in the draft room and her birth in the gantry. And now we sail with her to ensure every rivet, every piston, every circuit performs as flawlessly as we designed. She is a testament to what men can achieve when they strive for perfection. And yet, perhaps it is just the melancholy of leaving shore, but my mind is burdened by a vague and formless anxiety. There is a new philosophy in our trade, a relentless pressure from the London and New York offices for speed, for scale, for opulence above all else. We are in a great race, it seems, though no one will admit it. And in any race, compromises are made. I worry that the quiet, cautious wisdom of men like my father is being replaced by the reckless ambition of men who speak only of stock prices and passenger lists. It is in the smallest, most overlooked details that the greatest dangers often lie. A single flawed beam, a rivet improperly cooled. The sea does not forgive such small sins. But I must not dwell on it. To be at sea on a vessel one has helped create is a unique sensation. Every subtle creak of the woodwork, every hum from the ventilation, every tremor through floor plates is a language I understand. It is like listening to her breathe. I know the rhythm of her heart, and at this moment she feels strong and sound. I must put my faith in that, and in the good men who sail with her. For my philosophical ramblings and worries, forgive my philosophical ramblings and worries. All that truly matters is that for the next 5 days, we are on this magnificent vessel together. I will count the minutes until I see you at dinner. All my love, forever, Liam Cunningham. Now, Liam Cunningham works for Harland and Wolff, which is the company that constructed the Titanic in Belfast. Let's see. It says that Liam Cunningham, Naval Architect, Guarantee Group, Queen's Island, Belfast, Ireland. Okay, let's see what goodies that we have been given to look at. Okay, so we have a here is an ad for the Titanic's maiden voyage. Let's see how close I can get it so you can read it. I guess that's about it, right? Hopefully you can see that. Zoom, zoom, zoom if you can't. Freeze, zoom. So what does it say? Okay, so White Star Line, the first sailing of the latest addition to the White Star Fleet. The Queen of the Ocean, Titanic. Length, 882, I don't know, 1,000 feet? No, that can't be right. Over 45,000 tons. The latest, largest, and finest steamer afloat will sail from the White Star Line, Pier 10 in Southampton on Wednesday, April 10th, en route to New York. From Southampton in London, the fare is £7. £7. And from Queenstown, which was in Ireland, the fee was £6. Now, Southampton was the stop where the majority of the passengers boarded. However, before it actually set out to sail to the Atlantic, it had a second stop to pick up passengers in Queenstown, Ireland. Today, that would be Cobh, Ireland. It's not called Queenstown anymore. At the time it was. And the passengers that they picked up, they were primarily Irish passengers, third class, heading to the new land. So they, yeah, that was kind of interesting. So let's see, what else do we have? Oh, okay, here is a bio on Liam Cunningham. Oh, and a photo of the gentleman. There he is, Mr. Liam Cunningham. Okay. The son of a proud Harland and Wolff shipwright, Liam grew up not in a grand house, but in the shadow of the colossal Errol gantry, where the thunder of riveting was his childhood lullaby. Unlike his father, who learned his trade on the yard floor, Liam's sharp mind for mathematics earned him a coveted scholarship to study naval architecture at Queen's University. He quickly distinguished himself, and his reputation for meticulous, almost obsessive attention to detail earned him a position in the drawing offices under the legendary Thomas Andrews. His unwavering work ethic earned him a coveted position in the Harland and Wolff Guarantee Group, the elite 9-man team led by Mr. Andrews, tasked with ensuring every system on the Titanic performs flawlessly on her maiden voyage. To Liam, the ship is not just a job. It is the culmination of his life's ambition and a testament to the honor of his trade. The guiding star of Liam's life is his fiancée, the beautiful American socialite, Elsie Fairchild. He boards the Titanic filled with hope. Good for him, right? Yeah, okay. All right. So that was pretty interesting. Okay, the plot thickens. We have Elsie Fairchild, who's an American heiress, okay, and she is aboard the Titanic now, and the Titanic has set sail. It's April 10th, and her intended, I guess you would call him, Liam Cunningham, is also aboard. He is one of the men who had a hand in building the Titanic, and he's there to ensure all systems are go. So I suppose in the next letters, in future letters, we will hear when Liam and his lovely Elsie come together aboard ship. And it should be a very cool and interesting thing. So that's it for Titanic. For today, we have another letter to read next week. I'm trying to do this once a week. There's a total of 24 letters, 2 down, 22 to go. Okay. All right. So you need to please keep up with on my Facebook page. Follow me on Facebook, Sharon Patricia Cunningham Schultz, the Bay Lady. I have a couple pages going on there, and also my YouTube channel, Sharon Schultz, the Bay Lady. And there you will see, if you subscribe and follow me, you'll get notices or whatever when I schedule my tours. So Titanic will be coming up again next Tuesday. Now, whether it's 11:40 a.m. or 11:40 p.m. remains to be seen. Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful week. My next tour is Beatles Trivia at noon tomorrow. And got a couple of good tours coming up, actually, a foodie tour and what else? Oh, yeah, the Inner Harbor, Baltimore's Inner Harbor. So they're coming up in the next few days. So keep up. Also, I could use your support at buymeacoffee.com. You'll find the link on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. Also, there's links to other platforms where you can also watch or connect to my tours. So no excuses to miss any. All right, take care. Bye.